Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Donaram.com podcast. My name's Adam, and I'm sitting here with a nice, crisp, refreshing, couple of them, in fact, Busch Light. Today's episode is brought to you by Harbor Freight. When you have that one thing that you need that you're going to use one time, Harbor Freight. Again, like I said, my name's Adam. I'm joined here by a couple of my friends tonight.
Shepard, Wrex, Shepard, Wrex, Beau, Shepard, Don, Beau. I should be going.
And Adam. Guys, if you haven't already guessed, tonight we're talking Mass Effect. I've never played these games, but I know you guys hold them dear to your hearts.
It's a game I played.
That's actually true. This is a game that Don has actually played to completion. 4 games.
4 games.
That Don has played to completion.
We're talking about 3. 4 is special. 4 is sacred. It's good, but it is not talkable. It's not talkable.
We do need to keep it just the 3. 4 will be its own episode.
Oh my god.
4 will be something.
I've heard stories.
You've heard lies.
Anyway, so coming from someone who's never played it, can you guys take me through the game?
Oh, sure.
what is Mass Effect? How do you even start?
Mass Effect is a scientific concept within the universe of Mass Effect.
Is it really?
Yes.
That's what the game's named after.
It's the MacGuffin.
I didn't even know that. For
it's
some reason,
faster
I
than
thought
light travel, how their guns shoot.
Yeah. It's like if Star Wars was just named The Force Effect.
It really is. Like,
should we take them through a little bit of the lore here? Like, the thing you see when you first plug in the game, there is, humans make it to Mars. I know, miracle. It wasn't Elon Musk, it was the Chinese.
It's going to be the Chinese. It's not going to be Elon Musk, it's going to be the Chinese.
We found some whack-ass alien shit and some weird minerals in a gas can. Apparently some aliens up and died hundreds of years ago.
By the way, this alien tech and this mineral that we just found laying around is the perfect thing to make humans into superhuman psychics.
Yeah, well, it takes some time. You see, if you get it on you, you will get cancer and die horribly. But your children, they will be autistic. And then their children, maybe Superman. Maybe they can juggle Krogan into orbit.
They're not going to be Superman. They're going to be
better than Superman. The superhero you like, your persona is what they will be.
But
they love you.
Who was the guy? Who was the guy you could Vermeer instead of Ashley?
Oh, Caden, the Canadian.
Caden. Yep. Your children will be. They won't be Superman. They'll be Caden, and that is a trade up. Let me tell you.
Yeah, he makes good bacon. But that's we're getting into Mass Effect 3 territory. Though,
I always Vermeer Caden. Always.
It's we're talking about in-game stuff here.
He takes it better.
Yeah. Okay. So we find the whack ass shit. They're like, hey, we can do some whack shit with this whack ass shit. Then hey,
Don doesn't know what whack means.
Guys. Pluto, that moon around it? It ain't a moon. It's a whack-ass relay.
So does Mass Effect actually take place in our solar system? Or is this
the galaxy? Yes.
Yes.
You do. There is a mission in our solar system, but it takes place all over the galaxy. You see, Mass Effect, if you run an electric current through this thing called Element Zero, as far as the universe is concerned, you're not a fat ass. You are weightless.
Yeah,
which
mass
means
doesn't matter.
You can exceed the speed of light because universal law no longer applies to you because science. Well, we find this mass relay station. We get it going again by, I don't know, pressing a button probably. And it takes us all over the galaxy. And we take to this like flies on shit, basically.
2 other mass relays.
Yes. As long as there's another mass relay, we can get there.
It's a 2-way thing.
It is we basically just follow the path set forward by the Protheans, the precursor race. And eventually...
I hate that there's one of those, by the way.
Well, there's several.
It's just
there are thousands of generations.
Thousands upon thousands, right. But I think that's so cheap in sci-fi and fantasy when there's just that race that came before that just laid all the perfect groundwork.
The creators.
Yeah. The only time I liked it was in Jak and Daxter. The precursors.
Oh, I never played it.
Did you like it in what is that one movie? Prometheus?
Okay, Prometheus is different.
That's a religion. You can't criticize it.
Right? It's literally illegal.
Yeah.
Trump signed the bill today, May 3rd.
Yeah. Guaranteeing the evangelical vote for another generation. Anyway.
The Generation Z.
Yeah. Anyway, you see, we did this a little bit recklessly. We expanded very fast, and eventually a bunch of space dinosaurs, they catch us finagling with this stuff. And they're like, whoa, these hairless apes, they don't know what they're doing. We need to stop them. So they take over a colony of ours called Shang-Chi. And they're like, wow, that was easy because they overrun a police force. And then that police force summons an actual fleet. The Turians weren't ready for that. We take them out. Hey, we won. The Turians are like, oh, they want to play. So they mobilize their empire. Then a bunch of space elves, they show up, called the Asari, yeah, and they negotiate.
Are they really Asari?
Are the Asari the space elves?
They are magic, they are fair, they live for 1,000 years, they know better than you, but they're also very sexy. That's not a subjective point. That is basically the lore.
I can't argue with that. Okay. I can't argue with that. They are sexy. What can I say?
Look, I don't care what you're attracted to. They will appear as such to you. It's actually quite terrifying because they're actually just Squidward.
Remember the
No, literally, they're Squidward. They just look hot to you.
Remember the gosh, it's been so long since I played the guy not Wrex, his race.
Krogan.
Remember the Krogan?
Okay, he's objectively handsome.
If you know what, brother, if you can't enjoy just watching those Wrex, anyway. Remember the Krogan was in love with an Asari even.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, they look just like us. A little bigger than me, but you know, I'm into that. Shepherd, Wrex, Reeve. Okay, so Asari show up like, okay, humans, you just bit off more than you could chew, but we're gonna let you into the space UN. Like, you win. I'm not so crazy about it. And this sparks a big political rift that we will get into, that the game actually, to its credit, explores very thoroughly.
It's almost the center point of the first game.
It is. You get to choose.
The,
are you America first? Or are you civilized?
So wait.
The Renegade ending in regards to that is so when he's like, everything I did was to put humanity first.
So there's a space UN that humanity is trying to get into. Did I hear that right?
Yes.
Yeah,
that is the game. That is the plot.
That is the central plot of the game. And also, I just want to mention, in the first game, Paragon and... the Paragon system and the Renegade system is you make good... Mass Effect wanted to do this thing where it's like, hey, there's really no such thing as good and evil, man. It's just how you handle different situations. So when you do quote-unquote good things, you're a Paragon. When you do quote-unquote bad things, you're a Renegade. The best part of this is Renegade is just that, like, bad redneck dude that you work with that just hates everybody. And it's absolutely evil. Like, there's no question in Mass Effect 1, Renegade is evil.
A series of bad decisions that could be mistaken for bravado.
The end of the game, though, he literally says, like, I did this because I hate them aliens.
Because I thought that's what the Mass Effect title originally meant. Like, your actions have a mass effect.
It has a double meaning. They thought they were being artful. They kind of were. If I'm being...
Milady.
So, in this, at some point, Shepard is born. He is the sole survivor of a colony.
He or she is the sole survivor is one of the options you could pick.
That was the joke. I was going to get. He is a sole survivor of a colony.
I don't know if you're being serious or not.
With 2 loving parents, raised an orphan on the streets of the city. He is a loose cannon who always obeys orders, sometimes gets results.
You just wrote the best Mel Gibson movie in the 80s.
And he's trans, I believe.
Could be.
I mean, sexuality in this game, it kind of evolved. This is a really interesting time capsule because at first
Right.
it's kind of handled a little awkwardly. Like, oh, they're not really gay. They're just gay for you.
Right.
But then, they kind of develop in that way, and it's actually kind of nice.
And by the third game, I think that all romance options are either gender.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter. Like, everyone's just into everyone. Like, whatever. No, take that back. Take that back. The intern in 3, I think, will only go for a chick.
Yeah.
The one that is a chick, she'll only go for a chick.
Like, it's pedestrian, but it's important.
No, it's absolutely ham-fisted.
At some point, this needs to be the baseline of culture that everyone has to adhere to, and we have to reach for greater heights. But for now, this is enough. This is more than enough. This game is not good. It's important.
Actually, hang on. That is Don's entire personality. Like, I don't like this game. I walked in tonight to him not having fun playing a video game. But at the same time, he won't put it down.
Okay, Mass Effect is fun. It's good, but I hope the industry will improve so that one day it will not be good. But it's still important for now, and for now that's good enough.
It had an effect on
did.
several people's lives. Oh my god.
Okay, so then Shepard, he gets put in charge of this affirmative action project. For humans, like, Turians. Humans are hairless apes. They're new to the galaxy. They're just feeling their way around. They're, the undeveloped third world country, but they're growing fast. And there are some people who aren't very happy about that because the Space UN, they kind of screwed over the Batarians just a little bit. Enough to make them go all North Korea on you. And humans don't really appreciate that we have been granted an empire. And we're still kind of, coming to terms with that. The war is still fresh on everyone's minds, and putting the Turians and forcing them to work with us, it's kind of an interesting thing. But, there's some real-world analogs. You got to force these two kids to work out their troubles. So, you're running down this new fancy ship, human and Turian design, and there's a Turian attaché. He's a really cool guy. He's going to be very important, you think, or so. We're gonna go investigate this distress signal. It looks like this place is under attack by some huge ship. Yeah, well, I'm gonna jump out of this ship, and I move faster on my own. You guys can catch up. So you guys try to catch up. One of your guys dies. It's very sad.
If only you'd gone as a group.
It's important, though.
Yeah. It's not just you who takes casualties, though. This cool Turian guy, he sees a friend. He sees his Cody, and he is just, oh man, it's Saren. He's just hanging over there by those crates. Oh, I'm gonna go talk to this guy, and it's just gonna be, it's gonna be so good.
He's a Spectre.
He's a Spectre.
He's a Spectre.
You gotta respect the Spectre.
That's why they're called that.
Yeah. And he's like, Saren, Nihilus. Oh, to hear your baritone voice amidst these ruins.
Even Swan is cool as I, who will go ahead and the rest can catch up.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to turn my head. Bam! And you hear this. And you go up and you see, Saren's gone, but you see the dead Nihilus, and you're like, oh man, this is going to be a lot of paperwork. I'm supposed to keep an eye on this guy.
Really, the scene in the game is kind of like, they're going to blame us. We're in so much trouble.
Yeah, so you do finally beat the tutorial mission in a giant spaceship that's completely unexplained.
Hold on. That was the tutorial mission?
Yeah, that was the...
In all fairness, you did ask Don to talk about Mass Effect.
Oh.
So you get back to your boss, and
we're getting a mass podcast.
Yeah. So, okay, you get back to your boss, and you're like, so, that Turian that they sent down with you? Well, technically, he left first. It was his call. Yeah, he's dead, so what happened? I don't know. Got shot in the back.
He said,
wasn't me.
He said he quits, and he never wants to talk to any of you again, so don't call him.
He also said he said the humans were better all along. They deserve even more territory. Anyway, you get dragged into your boss's boss, and the diplomat's like, man, we've been trying to make the galaxy like us, and, this Nihilus being dead. Are you sure you're going to try to blame Saren for this? I mean, he's very respectable. I mean, he hates humans, but, we're kind of hateful.
They like that he hates humans.
Look, he has a good reason to hate humans. His brother was killed in the war, and he's just like he's put in his time. He's paid his dues. It's going to be an uphill battle to prove that he shot somebody, especially when you're relying on the eyewitness of a traumatized survivor. Oh, well, what about the this Quarian refugee? Yeah, that'll do it. So Saren's like, yeah, you can't trust a human. He's a human. Look at him. Look at him being over there all bipedal and shit. Like, oh, well, fuck
Look at
you.
him processing thoughts with his frontal lobes.
So look at his I can't remember his fucking DNA. There's a DNA difference. He can't eat what we eat, and that's a plot point later in the series. But Galactic Council agrees with us. Saren, he's not returning our calls anymore. And
in fact, we heard he didn't want to talk to us again.
Yeah, we have it on highest authority from this anonymous message. He called us poopy pants.
This anonymous.
And the Solarians take special offense to that.
They poop their pants.
Yeah. They move too fast.
Way too fast.
Move too fast. They only got 30 years to live. They've got time for toilets.
They're not going to sit down if they got that much time to live.
Okay.
You wouldn't either.
So, your affirmative action mission becomes even more affirmative action-y. Like, all right, humanity, we need to throw you guys a bone. So we're going to make you a Spectre. The first human Spectre. And anything that goes wrong, it's on you and your race as a whole. Fair enough? Okay, good. Get out there and track down Saren. So, as far as sci-fi goes, you've got a ship, you got a crew. It's getting
Seth Green is in your crew.
Yeah, he is very.
What?
He's the
Wait,
driver.
is he like a cameo or something?
Joker.
No, it's Seth Green. He plays Joker in this game.
He plays himself.
It's yet another. No, it literally. And in the first game, it's not as bad, but
Yeah.
in 2 and 3, it's literally Seth Green. Like, I'm really surprised they didn't put in a scene where he's like, "Hey, did you ever hear that ancient Earth show Robot Chicken?" Like,
Oh my god.
Yes, it was very important. It wasn't a good show, but it was important. Anyway, you got a very multicultural crew, and they, this guy seems like he's as good a guy as any to go on adventures with. So you get a ship, you got a crew, you got items, you've been grinding many missions, and you've got a nice sci-fi setting. You're going to explore the galaxy, track down this anti-human bigot, and you're going to put your fist through his face, and every Turian who stands in your way. Then you, eventually...
Don played a Renegade, by the way.
To be fair, in Mass Effect 2, Renegade becomes the cool option.
Oh, Renegade is so cool, Mass Effect
It becomes
2.
the Die Hard button.
Because there's so many times in Mass Effect 2 where the Renegade option is literally just shoot whatever you're frustrated with it.
Yeah.
Living thing or not. And it always works.
Always punch the space Nazis. Anyway, eventually you do find Saren, but before you do, you come across this little, there's this Vermeer. There's a lab.
Vermeer,
Saren's got himself a lab there, and we don't know what it's doing. He's very fortified, very secretive. He's breeding an army of Krogan, and he's experimenting with something. There's some Solarians down there that have lost their goddamn minds. You let them out.
My legs, they're going crazy down there.
And
They got them some of that refoam.
So Shepard's like, damn! Something's afoot!
I like that he starts off damn and then he goes into something's afoot.
Yeah. So you find out what's afoot later in this mission. You go up to a console and you're like, oh man, this is gonna be a moment where I meet Saren in a hologram. He's gonna mock me, and then I'm gonna beat him up. I'm gonna steal his wallet. Then then you realize this little conference room is kind of big for some reason, and the room fills with the hologram of that giant ship you saw.
Oh man!
And the ship just says, "You are not Saren."
That is in all honesty, I think that's the best line in gaming. It literally changes the entire dynamic of the story.
It is up there.
We've been laughing and cutting up, but that is actually Don was so into that he hurt his throat saying it, because that's the respect that it deserves.
You are not Saren.
It's
we have no beginning, we have no end.
Yeah, it absolutely. I remember the first time I played it, it's like, oh my god.
Okay, so this is a little bit deeper than a racist going on a tantrum.
Right, right.
So when you do meet Saren, you're not just, dishing up, political grievances. You are two people who have seen the truth of the universe.
That no one else knows.
Does that line compare or exceed the ending of Heart of the Swarm?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh wow, that's
because Heart of the Swarm was a conclusion. This is saying no.
This is the game.
This is almost near the end of the game, and it's saying we're just now getting started.
The game you have been playing is not Die Hard. Imagine if Hans Gruber.
So would it compare to Minsk on the bridge leaving Kerrigan?
No.
Nope.
No, it is Imagine if Amon interrupted you, like, "Hey," and then left.
Right. and that happened in StarCraft 1 before the Chrysalis even happened.
Yeah,
like that is just it's.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my Alexandra.
Like, I mean, the game literally just led you on this wild goose chase that they're like, hey, this game's about you killing a racist named Saren. And you're like, okay, I can get behind this. And then it's like, no.
Climate change.
No, there's a sci-fi plot here. We've just been hiding it from you.
So this big conversation with Saren, it's not about politics. It's like, you look, dude, you know what I know. You know we have no chance. The only chance we have is groveling.
Right?
And then you're like, dude, you know he's mind controlling you, right? No, look, I've looked into this. You probably saw all those crazy Solarians downstairs.
Right?
So
right?
when he mind controls you, you lose your ability to speak. We're speaking. He's influencing me.
Good.
That's different.
I want him to influence me.
You see, he has learned that I can be valuable and other organics can be valuable. If we play our cards right, if we just spend a few more years at minimum wage, they're going to recognize us, and they're going to leave us behind a potentially viable breeding population. I'm just saying. I've run the numbers. I've thought of everything. Like, have you thought that maybe we can get the Space UN, put aside all their differences, come together in one big fleet, ignore all their home planets? Okay, I see where you're coming from, but Shurinder is wrong. Look, man, you and I, we've had our differences, but you and I are very much alike. I've known this longer. I've been dealing with this. I've thought of every angle, and it all ends in us losing. So the only way we might be able to survive is if we help him get his buddies back. Because it's going to happen sooner or later anyway. Yeah, well, I think we're just going to stick with plan A of bombing this place. And then we'll deal with this whole mess later, yeah. I figured you'd say that. Here's an awesome boss fight.
Oh, it's a great boss fight.
Yeah,
it's the best one in the game.
Then he holds you up over a cliff, or wherever it is you are, and you escape. One of your teammates dies, and it actually gets kind of somber for a while.
You have to choose who dies. It's Ashley or Caden.
Yeah.
And I always pick Caden. He seems to take it better.
Yeah. He seems to be more resigned to it.
Ashley is taking it good, but it's because her character's kind of like the soldier. So
Yeah.
you're like, hey, you're trying, and I see
Yeah.
that. So no, and also Caden's from Canada. Even though there's a One Earth government in the future, they're still not real.
Technically,
people.
there's a North American Union in the fluff. It's actually kind of cool. But
Right.
yeah. Anyway, you get back to the council, and they're like, "Hey, good job blowing up Saren's base. Looks like he's gone to ground. And now that we know he's planning to take over the Citadel, we can prepare for that. Yeah, but he's got this secret plan he was talking about to get on here. Other than direct assault. Aren't you going to look into that? Nah. It looks like he's fled to the Terminus systems. We can't follow him there. Well, I've got a stealth ship. Yeah, no. You really shouldn't do that. You really should. That would spark a war. Yeah, look, I'm just going to follow him there, see what he's talking about, because he laid on some pretty heavy shit. I'm just going to say it. There's something about Reapers and Unstoppable Onslaught, and he's got the Geth army still. We still need to deal with that little detail. Yeah, no. In fact, we're going to impound your ship, put you on house arrest, and we're going to put you in timeout, mister.
The bureaucratic noose is very pronounced in this game the whole time. Like you can tell, like some ex-military dude was on the writing staff.
I appreciate that the minute they wrap up your pursuit of Saren, you immediately start seeing what he saw in the council.
Oh, yeah.
They are never going to be able to deal with this threat. They will always suspect you or pretend the issue doesn't exist. My way is the only way. So you immediately go Renegade 2 to go after the Renegade Spectre.
And it's kind of interesting because games nowadays, they're just like movies and everything. They want the relatable villain. They want the villain where you almost see their point. And Saren, they did a really good job of like making. What's funny is Saren's not even making a point. The Reapers are making his point, but they still make it seem. You could see really,
that he went through the stages of grief and he settled in on bargaining and he stuck with it. But eventually you do follow to the ruins, and then the last Prothean computer program, like, hey, it looks like you're trying to stop the apocalypse.
It's
Would you
Clippy.
like some help?
It's Clippy.
It's Clippy. Yeah. My creators, they fought the good fight, but they lost the Citadel right out of the gate. You should probably stop that. Also, we messed up with the computer program, so they can't just teleport in like they did last time.
For more tips, go online at Microsoft.com.
We don't have time for that. Saren's getting to the Citadel. Okay. Here's the conduit. It's a teleportation device that'll take you right to the heart of the Citadel. I think he just left through it. And, so you take your tank.
We didn't talk about it! We didn't talk about the tank!
The best vehicle in gaming history. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care how many...
How did we get this far talking about Mass Effect 1 and how much
the bouncy tank?
It's Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
No,
on a galactic scale.
On legendary difficulty, where they just scale up the health of the enemies, so the Krogan are basically indestructible. You hit them with a tank shell point blank, it sends them into orbit, but doesn't actually damage them. So you have to go over mountain ranges to hunt down this plot important enemy and play golf with them across the planet. Anyway, you take your Mako, who's been faithful for you with just serving with no complaint. You run through all the gas. You take fire. It's just about to explode. You ramp into the teleportation device, merge onto the Citadel as it's on fire. It flips on its side, takes out some gas, and it's gone. It's just on its flip. It's flipped. You can't tow it. It's gone.
Never mind that I flipped that thing like a billion times before.
The one time it flips, it's plot relevant. It's And then there's this awesome chase. You have to go through an elevator shaft. The gravitics of the Citadel aren't working anymore.
This is such a good sequence. At the end of the game.
You have to fight your way to the spire. You meet Saren one last time. Like, hey, it's you again. I really owe you some thanks because you got me thinking. Maybe what I'm doing isn't wrong. Maybe there's still a chance. Maybe this mind control thing isn't something I can just deal with.
Maybe I need to talk to someone.
Maybe I should talk. I should talk to someone. I should talk to someone I trust. There's one person I trust ever since you put a bullet in Benezia's head. It's Sovereign. my bosom buddy. My trusted confidant. He will know what to do with the Reapers.
He is a Reaper, but you don't understand, man.
Who better to talk to? Look, I am a centrist. The Reapers say that their way is correct. I don't know. Yes, there are some left-wing extremists who will say that their way is rather detrimental to other ethnic groups. But I concede the point because I am a reasonable person. But I think we should hear the Reapers out. So I did. And they implanted me to strengthen my resolve. And anyway, now I've killed all the Keepers that were corrupted by the Protheans and their little fun gimmick, and I'm about to bring all the Reapers to the galaxy, and there's going to be a viable breeding population of Turians. And they will be in no way reduced to husks. or otherwise lobotomized or left to starve, it's gonna be acceptable.
It's gonna be fine, Shepard.
It will
Shepard.
Wrex.
It's gonna be fine.
So yeah, things are looking a little dire. I mean, the Citadel fleet's been wrecked. The Council's just barely holding out on the most powerful ship in the galaxy.
The Normandy took some big hits, yeah.
And but the humans haven't gotten involved yet. They are a rogue factor. They aren't due to the Treaty of Firaxis. The humans aren't allowed to actively contest the Turians or the Asari, but they're big enough to defend themselves and big enough to intervene as a third factor. So you do some shenanigans and you bring in the human fleet, and they surprise the Geth, save the Council, or leave them to die.
Up to you.
Yeah,
and it is a decision that will have a mass effect.
Yes. And not really. They just, the Council just gets replaced with people.
Right.
In the first game, you really feel it, though. Right. So, the human fleet takes the fight to Sovereign, but they're taking some pretty nasty hits. This thing is not playing around. It points a tentacle at a capital ship. Capital ship ain't there no more.
Nope.
So
it's like a more mobile Death Star.
Yeah, and the only thing you can really do is try to talk Saren out of bringing the rest of the Reapers through. And if you are Paragoni or Renegade enough, you can convince Saren to kill himself.
Oh, that's the best part of the game. Oh, man.
Look, I know I'm wrong, but Sovereign... Look, you were right. Sovereign has taken me over. That's all I can really do. No, you can still kill yourself. I believe in you.
Well, the thing is the Paragon thing, I think...
You can still redeem yourself.
You say you can still redeem yourself, and Saren shocks you. Because I did my Paragon run the first time, and that was that was a very impactful scene. Like, that was just great writing.
Thank you.
Oh my god, yes, because he's just like, thank you. No, the Renegade one is like, nope, you got one more option, buddy. You got a couple bullets in that there gun, don't you? Come on, Hoss! Get rid of it!
Anyway, in the ultimate tragedy, this sacrifice only spares you one boss fight, because the implants are still there.
Yep.
He brings them back as a Terminator.
Yeah. Not Terminator armor from 40K, because let's face it, Shepard wouldn't have.
Yeah, he ain't a gene stealer. That's hard to get through. Anyway, so Sovereign assumes direct control of
Shepard.
Yeah, Shepard.
Wrex.
Shepard. Beau. And once you beat Saren in this form, it also sends a temporary shock to Sovereign, taking his defenses offline, just enough for the humans to close enough damage and kick its ass.
Anakin flies in on the Naboo Starfighter.
Yeah, that's the extended cut.
He gets stuck and tries to get himself out and actually blows up the whole thing. Oh, and then down on Earth, down on the Citadel, Jar Jar, he's surrounded and...
I give up. But, the Geth don't actually take prisoners, so, Jar Jar's no longer with us.
Right, and it's actually less. It's actually more of a mercy that they don't take prisoners, because what would they feed them?
That's a good question.
Yep, killing you is the best thing Geth can do if he beats you in battle. Yep.
So eventually you're vindicated. You are the heroes. Humans are the heroes. They've taken terrible casualties, but they did save the day. And in recognition of their sacrifice, the humans become a voting member of the United Nations Security Council. With veto power.
And you can make a decision that will last at least through Mass Effect 2.
Yeah.
It'll be completely overridden in Mass Effect 3 if you take the Paragon option. If you put the Admiral...
Anderson,
if you put Anderson on the council, he will be on the council in 2, but Udina will take over in 3.
He hates his job as
the first thing that happens in Mass Effect 2 is he's like, hey, you son of a buck, you put me on the council, and he's like, it's where he's joking, but, now, this is where you get your Renegade Humans First speech.
Yeah.
Renegade Shepard is literally Donald Trump.
Yeah, and
he's literally Trump.
A Paragon is like, look, climate change is still out there, and we need to switch to 100% renewables within 20 years to decarbonize the atmosphere.
Who is Paragon? If Renegade Shepard is Trump, who's Paragon? And don't say Bernie Sanders.
Jay Inslee.
Thank you. That's a lot better.
Yeah.
The boring answer was Sanders.
You know,
Don's not going to give you the
as
boring
we
answer.
speak, Washington has passed a public health care bill and an energy mandate. It's not going to stop climate change, but it's going to put a dent. It's going to keep us on top. It's going to keep America #1 in new research and development. And Inslee is just the man to lead us in 2020. Okay, Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect 2. Shepard dies.
Where are we at in time?
I'm almost gonna say let's make that our second episode.
Shepard
because if
Shepard dies, Mass Effect.
yes, it'll be a quick one next week, folks. But no,
Cool things are happening. Shepard dies.
Shepard.
Wrex.
Shepard. I love it. Any final thoughts on Mass Effect 1? Because with that description, I might try this one.
Okay.
What's it out for? Is it out for
Xbox 360?
Xbox 360. PC is the way you're going to go.
Play
Steam.
PC, yeah.
Steam.
Okay, if you're going to play Mass Effect 1, you should know the combat is a little dated, but if you play as Biotic, you can just cast a black hole off a ledge, and all the enemies will die.
Play as Biotic.
Play as a Biotic.
Biotic? It is.
Give your parents cancer.
Oh boy.
Oh.
It'll be a Mass Effect on my parents.
Yes, it's the reverse of Back to the Future. You
Wow.
need to go back in time.
We live in southern Warwick County, so like.
I mean,
it's
we're
not gonna
basically
be that-
all the way there
right,
already.
It's not going to
I
be
mean,
that hard to catch.
This is a sacrifice zone. This is where all the element zero gets turned into the atmosphere. And,
That is literally what they call us, by the way. That is like the
this
actual
is the sacrifice
term.
zone. Yeah.
So you're welcome for your electricity, those listening in California.
Oh my gosh. Or at least your aluminum. Anyway.
Yeah, steel.
Yeah.
Got
Yes.
some steel around
Yes.
here.
And paper.
We make America work.
We have a thriving tourist industry. We have Holiday World and Splash and Safari, Lincoln Boyhood National Memorial, and Lincoln Pioneer Village in Rockport, and you should visit.
All in Spencer County, whose newspaper Don works for. So.
Wow, I'm getting doxxed. Spencer County leader. My name is Kathy Treader. Editor-in-Chief.
Don is a pen name.
Yeah,
A
that's
pseudonym.
a pseudonym, if you will.
The Grammarchist.
Shepard.
Goddamn. Every alias I've ever used.
I know, we are seriously putting Don on blast.
I hope it's nice and comfortable under the bus.
You're about to find out.
Okay, let's wrap this thing.
If you enjoyed listening to Don and all of his different aliases, please like and subscribe to our podcast and on YouTube at /Donaram. And
That's a 0 in the middle, not an O.
oh yes, the Don Zero ROM. Anyway, we'll see you guys next time.